to 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.
Hello, welcome. This is Celebration TV News Desk, and I am from the Marks. First, the headlines. Oshomola backs revolution now, fourth Shore's tactics. Open Heavens Cape Town Apostle Johnson Suleiman. From the foreign scene, U.S. mass shootings, Trump visits Dayton and El Paso. On business tax disputes, MTN engages KPMG to tackle FIRS. And on sports, Arsenal reject Everton's £30 million it will be bid. Stay with us. We'll give the details after this short break. Welcome back. Oshomola backs revolution now, fourth Shore's tactics. The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Mr. Adams Oshomola, on Wednesday gave reasons why he believed the revolutionary protests were unnecessary. Oshomola stated that much as he recognized the right of every citizen to protest under a democracy, such protests must be articulated and well coordinated in order to have a direction. He noted that the convener and presidential candidate of the African Congress, Mr. Omoyele Sowore, got it wrong when he planned the protest, having contested in a general election with President Muhammadu Buhari on the February 23rd and lost. The APC chairman spoke with reporters after the meeting of the National Working Committee of the party with Buhari ended at the State House in Abuja, according to him. Discussion also centered on the policies of the government for the next 4 years, especially on how to strengthen the economy and restore the middle class in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Buhari at the meeting promised the NWC members that he will be closer to the party this time round and be more conscious of the sacrifices the members made to ensure his re-election. However, he told the members not to criticize party decisions for the sake of doing so, noting that they must first understand the provisions of the APC constitution. Meanwhile, Oshomola also said the party would establish an Institute of Progressive Studies to teach the members the principal aims and objectives of the APC. And then still on the local news, Open Heavens, Cape Town, Apostle Johnson Suleiman. The program tagged Open Heavens Cape Town, South Africa has come to an end. The crusade, which was 4 meetings, began on Tuesday, 6th August to Wednesday, 7th, with a record of massive attendance by ministers of the gospel from all around Africa. Just like in every other meeting with God's servant Apostle Johnson Suleiman, there was an outburst of what depth, accurate, microscopic, and forensic prophetic utterances. In the very last meeting of the program, the tangible presence of God was evident as the anointing for miracles was present, opening blind eyes and lifting cripples off their wheelchairs. Due to the fact that the program has a massive attendance of ministers of God from all around Africa, the Restoration Apostle in his messages didn't hesitate to caution them on how to do ministry genuinely. He encouraged them to not to go into gimmicks, saying that God is always faithful to sustain those he has sent. In conclusion, he expressed his appreciation to the church in South Africa as he promised to return in September for Open Heavens Johannesburg. And still from the local scene, Assembly's moves to impeach Kogi Deputy Governor. The rift between the Kogi State Governor Alhaji Yahaya Bello and his deputies Simon Achuba became messy on Wednesday as the State House of Assembly commenced impeachment process against Achuba. The Assembly based its action on the utterances of the Deputy Governor on Channels TV and AIT. The members described the action as a gross misconduct against Bello and the people of the state. The impeachment process was sequel to a petition signed by 21 members of the House, which was presented on the floor by the majority leader, Abdullah Bello, representing the Jakutu State constituency on Wednesday at the plenary. Part of the petition read, the actions and utterances of the Deputy Governor amounts to gross misconduct in the performance of the functions of his office. The petition also alleged that the committee that the Kogi State government set up to look into the Yano crisis in the Baji local government made some findings that indicted the deputy governor over his actions related to the escalation of the crisis. It is our view that the deputy governor is guilty of gross misconduct and he ought to answer to and or substantiate all these allegations. The Speaker of the House, Matthew Kolawole, directed that the petition should be transmitted to the Deputy Governor and gave him 2 weeks to reply, while investigation into the alleged misconduct commenced. And now to some local news. Apostle Johnson Suleiman tweeted a Bible quiz. Apostle Johnson Suleiman, known for his addiction to the Word of God, began a Bible quiz on his Twitter handle with a price tag of $1,000 in order to encourage youth to hunger for God's words as well. The man of God, who is known on Twitter as @Apostle Suleiman, came forth with another question a few days ago. The second question was, who swallowed Jonah and why? With over 1,000 reactions from followers, the man of God picked 2 persons who had gotten the correct answer and did fulfill his promise. As it was done before, the man of God reposted a screenshot of the 2 persons who got the correct answer to question 2 of the quiz and also sent a picture evidence of the money that was received by the winners, who were appreciating the man of God for the gift. In a comic tweet, after reading the reactions of those who missed the opportunity to get the prize, the man of God promised to do several segments of the quiz. As he said, I'm on Twitter personally to make someone happy. And that was an interesting one. And now to the foreign scene, U.S. mass shooting, Trump visit Dayton and El Paso. Stay with us, we'll give the details after this short break. Welcome back. And now to foreign scene, U.S. mass shootings, Trump visits Dayton and El Paso. U.S. President Donald Trump has visited emergency workers and survivors of mass shooting in El Paso, Texas, one of the 2 cities shaken by gun attack that took 31 lives. Hispanic people were targeted in an apparent hate crime when the gunman in El Paso shot dead 22 people on Saturday. Mr. Trump himself has been accused of stoking hatred against Hispanic people. He came to Texas from Dayton, Ohio, where he had visited survivors of a shooting in which 9 people died. Mr. Trump said before leaving Washington that he was concerned about the rise of any group of hate, whether it's white supremacy or any other kind of supremacy. But the Democratic Congresswoman who represents El Paso, Veronica Escobar, refused to meet with him, saying his racist and hateful words and actions had caused pain to a community and our country. The El Paso shooting is being treated as a possible hate crime. Much of the city identifies as Hispanic, and the suspect is thought to be the author of a text posted online which said, "This attack is a response to the Hispanic invasion of Texas." The text echoes some of the U.S. president's language, with Mr. Trump having frequently used the term invasion to describe the situation on the U.S.-Mexico border. And more from the foreign news. Kashmir dispute, UN deeply concerned over restrictions. The UN has said the latest restriction imposed in India-administered Kashmir are deeply concerning and will exacerbate the human rights situation. A UN spokesman highlighted a telecommunications ban, the arbitrary detention of leaders, and a ban on political assembly. The region has been on lockdown since Sunday with phone and internet networks cut off. The Himalayan region of Kashmir is claimed in its entirety by both India and Pakistan, but each country controls only part of it. There is a long-running separatist insurgency on the Indian side, which has led to thousands of deaths over 3 decades. Kashmiris in other parts of the country said that they were unable to get through to their families. Local political leaders have also reportedly been detained. Pakistan has announced plans to expel India's top diplomat and suspend trade with its neighbor, deepening a war between the countries over the disputed territory. Now on to business news right now. Tax dispute, MTN engages KPMG to tackle FIRS. Stay with us, details come after the short break. Welcome back. Tax dispute, MTN engages KPMG to tackle FIRS. MTN has engaged the services of the KPMG to handle the demand for the payment of tax on the 330 billion naira, equivalent to $1.1 billion fine it paid to the government. Investigation has shown the company had confirmed having a technical disagreement with Federal Internal Revenue Service regarding tax deduction from the fine. Sources close to the company confirmed that the telco had to hire the KPMG because it needed a professional firm conversant with Nigerian tax matters to handle the dispute with the competence required. The Nigerian Tax Tribunal is looking into the disagreement between the telco and the FIRS on whether the fine paid by the company to the government should be subjected to tax. It was gathered that the tax in dispute was being held in an escrow account pending the ruling of the tribunal. It was also learned that the tribunal had been on the case for about 1 year. MTN, which is Nigeria's largest network operator, was fined 1.04 trillion naira by the Nigerian Communication Commission for not meeting the deadline for deactivation of more than 5 million unregistered SIM cards in 2015. It, however, negotiated a reduced fine on condition that it will list on Nigerian Stock Exchange. And still on business news, BA cancels flights, Euro recalls workers. Many Nigerians were among passengers stranded at London Heathrow on Wednesday as British Airways cancelled and rescheduled several flights following a check-in system failure. The rescheduled London-Lagos flight will be operated on Thursday. Today, the airline said. The British Airlines announced later that the system which caused disruption to its flight operation had been restored. The airline also revealed plans to resume regional flight services before the end of the year, beginning with Libreville, Gabon, Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, and Douala, Cameroon. Euro was suspended most of its domestic and regional flights in 2016 when it came under the management of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. It said over 120 fitters and technicians had also been called back into the system, adding that in the last few months the airline had been constantly recalling its redundant workers into the system. About 1 year after they came on the management of AMCOM, the airline in March 2017 announced that 60% of its workforce had been placed on redundancy. The airline has said it was grappling with huge and unrealistic personnel costs as well as other operational challenges worsened by lack of enough aircraft to keep all the workers meaningfully engaged. Now on to sport news. Arsenal reject Everton's £30 million it will be beat. Stay with us. Details coming after the short break. Welcome back. And on sport news now, Arsenal reject Everton's £30 million. It will be beat. Arsenal have rejected £30 million bid from Everton for Arsenal forward Alex Iwobi as Marco Silva bids to bolster his squad ahead of the new Premier League season. Sport Extra reports. The Super Eagles, who helped Nigeria to a third place finish at the 2019 African Cup of Nations in Egypt, is one of Unai Emery's key men going into the new season after making 35 appearances, bagging 3 goals and 7 assists for the Emirates last season. Where his plays at the Gunners is on the thread following the arrival of the record signing Nicolas Pepe from Lille this summer. Silva's side had prioritized a move for Wilfried Zaha, but Crystal Palace are demanding for £100 million for their star player. The trophy-seeking alternatives have turned to the Nigerian international, but the Gunners rebuffed their offer. But according to report, Arsenal will be willing to accept a bid in the region of £14 million. Sport Extra also gathered that the 23-year-old is not agitating for a move but will make a switch to Goodison Park should a deal be agreed before transfer deadline on Thursday. Everton, who finished 8th last season, will face Crystal Palace in their EPL opener on Saturday. And still on sport, Madrid offered £110 million plus Modric for Neymar. Real Madrid are reportedly offering £110 million plus Ballon d'Or winner Luka Modric for PSG star Neymar. The Spanish giant have still to replace talisman Cristiano Ronaldo, and with Gareth Bale well out of favor, a marquee signing was needed this summer. And the Spanish news site Sport is reporting the Los Blancos are close to completing the sensational switch for the once-away Brazilian. But there is one major stumbling block. The player himself is keen on the return to his old club and Real's big rival Barcelona. And the Catalan giant is expected to be pressed into action now Real Madrid have made their move. Neymar is believed to have been offered to both Juventus and Manchester United and PSG, who seem to have accepted that their temperamental Brazilian is heading off. And still from sports, CAF declared Esperance Champions League winners. Tunisian side Esperance were declared African Champions League winners by the Confederation of African Football's Disciplinary Committee on Wednesday. The announcement came after CAF found Esperance opponent Moroccan outfit without Casablanca due to them abandoning the second leg of the final on May 31st. The Tunisian outfit were announced as the winners of the night when their opponent walked off due to a VAR controversy. The match was initially declared null and void, then the decision was quashed last week. The CAF's executive committee came to the conclusion that the match should be replayed at a neutral venue, but Wednesday ruling by disciplinary board overturned that decision. My dad also received a $20,000 fine for their troubles. The club received an additional fine of $15,000 for the use of flares by supporters. Esperance were instructed to pay $50,000 for the use of flares and the throwing of projectiles by their fans. This very committee decision means Esperance retained the title, and the club secretary general Farouk Katou was brilliant. He said justice has been done. It's fully deserved title. It's taken 2 months, but finally we have it. And that's what we have for you today from News from Celebration TV News. That in case you missed the news, these are the headlines again. Oshiomhole backs #Revolution Now for showrace tactics. Open Evans Cape Town Apostle Johnson Suleiman from the foreign saying U.S. mass shooting Trump visit Dayton to help us all. On business, tax dispute, MTN engages KPMG to tackle FIRS. And on sport, Arsenal reject Everton's £30 million Iwobi bid. Thank you for watching us on Celebration TV. You can follow us on all our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Celebration TV, on Instagram we are at My Celebration TV, and on Twitter is at My Celebration TV. On YouTube, you can check us on www.youtube.com/Celebration TV. Thank you for watching, and we hope that you have a wonderful day ahead. I'm Father Max. Bye for now.